A long smoldering dispute in my attitude about Mark Nordenberg and the city of Pittsburgh comes from his game of telling students at a school where my father was chair of philosophy of education for a while, mind you. It's not as though I'm a disinterested party. That their job is to win cases as lawyers, even if they know they're wrong. Um, none of the students who performed for him disputed that idea. I did dispute it, and I still dispute it. I said that they were was an ethical there were ethical considerations, and that Pitt had a philosophy school, that ethics should play an ordinate role in our lectures and understanding. And he, of course, laughed at me. He's one of those people who defended Schulman for years, despite the obviousness that he was defrauding the post office. And it turns out the Carnegie for their books, with who knows how many people going along with it on this slide. But yeah, I'm baiting a dead horse when I go into that. What I wanted to discuss was, what do you say about people who know when they're lying? Well, you send them an application for the Fernhollow Bridge gang. But there's another type of person, situation. Very honest people believe they're being lied to when they're not. And even if the rational information is better than their reasons for believing they're being lied to, they go along with the rational information. They go along with their beliefs based on ideology rather than rational information. I'll give you a good example. A man blew up at the library because he said I was ignoring him. And it was explained and ultimately shown to him that I was deaf. I didn't even know he was there. They had to calm him down and explain to me that he was carrying on because of me. He was standing where I couldn't see him. Well, he was he did like this here and that there, that it was the black man being derided by the white intelligence system and so on and so forth. And there was no explaining to him. So I had to just let bygones be bygones about it. One day when I was about 8 years old, outside the Hilton at the Point State Park, my sister, who was only 11, was teaching me a game where the spades go tulips together. The only thing either one of us knew was a spade was a card. Neither one of us thought anything other than it was a sing song. Well, a woman with her children was there, and she quite rightly shushed us and scolded my mother. And my mother said, they don't understand. My mother didn't initiate it. She wasn't barely paying any attention to us. But I understood from that. Well, of course, the woman didn't believe any of us. We were white and we were taunting them, was the way she saw it. And one can be very tolerant of that because I understood by the time I was 8 that there was some tension in our society about the Vietnam War. There was tension in our society about sexual conduct and so on. And I was taken to heroin. I was about 11 years old by a person who then proceeded to try to burn me over a one-night stand at the university that was initiated by the woman in question. I mean, you can't make this kind of thing up. And the Black Panthers in Seattle knew what really happened. Knew. Maybe they did know what really happened. That's another possibility. But what I have found in the walrus is that the AIDS attack was to target sexually active people. It got a lot of white people who were gay. And they had, like, the United Bible Fellowship had a Korean girl named Mi Young Jewel indexed to Gail Burson, of course, the young Jew behind the letters, and another one named Marilyn M. from Dearborn. You have Ralph Marslock. We fight over what's missing, you see. Dee Dee was not a virgin. And he's working for Zappa. He introduced me to Zappa and would always show up when Zappa spoke to challenge me and so on. So he's the one who told me about Bill Parks. Ask for Bill Parks if you want to go down and interview Penis Gabriel. So what they did was they indexed a Union Society for Two Visions Moral Ball. So they would be the great teacher Thorolton's coming like. And of course they got cooperation from all of the hillbillies around the world who do like this. He think he thinks he's a do-gooder when he sleeps with girls when he's homeless to get a bed, right? Sometimes you have to make up the time for a woman who's letting you sleep on her couch. They have rights and privileges too, and none of these people were put up to it. That was an invention, because you see, there's resistance when you go after people for their secrets, with privacy. There's resistance. So the Nazis have worked it with show business. Penis Gabriel, Clint Eastwood. He's resisting telling something, therefore he's hiding something. You tell us what you're hiding about your wife. It's indecent. And what Peter Gabriel and Thorls and the swastika board of the Gestapo of Gurdjieff Society have done is a gross indecency. This is what social media is covering up. The Mothers of Liberty don't want it told to children. You have to only choose one lawfully wedded wife and husband. You have to. Because if you don't, the NAM veterans will send you off to the Ukraine. Putin will follow your house. You will be stuck in the rear end by a poison criminal from the Green Party. You have no choice. You have to, there's only one man, one woman, once in lawfully wedded wedlock, till death do you part. That's the great brilliance of the pact between the man and the spouse. It goes back to Adam and Eve. So don't think you're going to fool Ronald Reagan. Bork knows, like the shadow knows.